Hello, friends. Welcome to the Career Guru Podcast. I am your host, Steve Yanovsky. What a glorious day it is to start your path on a new career. Doors are opening here at the Boston Career Institute even as we speak. And I'm here holding the key for you. So tune in, stay sharp, and enjoy yourself. This is going to be great. Hashtag Let's Career Up. Greetings, my friends, conversationalists, thrill seekers, career gurus, aspiring career gurus all across the fruited plain. This is your career guru coming to you across the internet to deliver yet another installment of the Career Guru podcast. It is very exciting to be here today, and I would like to respond to a particular set of emails that I received where people inquired about how to make more money in the place where they work because they don't necessarily want to quit and move on. So that would be the topic for our discussion today: how to make more money, or Career Guru in Search of More Money, the sequel. And we are going to talk about this today. Once again, I want to remind everybody of my email address, bcipodcast@bostoncareer.org, bcipodcast@bostoncareer.org. Please email me here with any questions, thoughts, special requests for podcasts. I'm here to answer all your questions. Please keep writing. Don't stop. So here's what we're talking about today. So many people are working in healthcare organizations, and I'm focusing on healthcare, but you can basically talk about any employer today. And the question arises that they are stuck earning their wage within a specific framework of what they can make, a scale. And the only thing that they're entitled to is bare minimum raises that people receive annually, cost of living increases, and so on and so forth. And people find themselves at odds with themselves. A, they love the place where they work, but B, they can't make money that they could make by leaving their job and moving on with another company where they're going to be availed to a higher scale. So there are some instruments that people have at their disposal if they want to keep their job in the hospital or their current employer without leaving. So I'd like to address some of these things. Of course, I'd be remiss by saying that you can certainly make more money faster if you quit your current position and apply to a new position, which, of course, not in the same order. First you apply, then you quit, and you quit gracefully, making sure to give your employer plenty of time to replace you. But this is not the focus of our discussion today, except always be what they say in New York, a mensch. Be a good person. Be a good person. Put yourself in the hands of your employer to an extent and understand their plight. It's not going to be that easy for them to replace you. Certainly, no one is irreplaceable. We'd like to think that we are irreplaceable, but we are not. Everyone is replaceable. But you want to be replaced nicely, and you want to be part of that transition. But let's talk about what you can do to make more money. First and foremost, the easiest way to allow the human resources department and your department in general to pay you more is to have extra relevant certification that you can bring to the table. Every piece of paper that you bring into human resources qualifies you in with most employers to receive more wages, to receive more money, to receive a higher scale. So don't be shy. Take these classes, receive these certificates, and bring them into your HR professional. Certainly, before you start investing yourself in certain classes or programs that you should take, you should find out what's going to be worth their while and what's going to actually count to give you that extra push, financially speaking. So check first, do your due diligence, and find out what's worth. Extra certifications, be it state or national certifications that you could invest in, the more you bring to the table, the more money you can be entitled to. And that releases your manager and that releases your HR professional from the bounds of the scale that you are in. Perhaps you can qualify to enter into a new position with a better, higher scale. So that would be a good start. After that, you need to build your case, which means Track your achievements, track your accomplishments. You have to, as any decent employee, you should always have a journal that you keep, where you keep your accomplishments and where you keep all sorts of things that happen to you in the workplace. As we discussed in our previous podcasts, having a journal, work journal, like a captain's log, where you enter daily events. They may be insignificant, but if it kind of stuck in your mind that something happened, record it, put a date on it, time, and keep it in your journal. It is a legal document that you can use to support your case thereafter. So all of these accomplishments, be it an increase in performance or increase in the type of duties that you have received over a period of time, will contribute to your case. That's what it means to build your case. Okay. You have to quantify your results. Highlight all of your measurable outcomes. Like, did your output increase? Did you bring any cost savings to the department? Bring out your successes in a period of time in which you're seeking your evaluation, usually a year from your last review. This is what you need to bring to the table. Okay, that's what's called building your case. Sell yourself high. Everything in life is a sales game. Being a career guru is a sales game. So just keep that in mind. Make sure to research the market. Check what people are making in the same vicinity. Do comparable analysis, if you will, of what people are making in your neighborhood, in similar jobs, in similar companies, in similar geographic locations. I mean, obviously, in Northeast, for example, like New York, Boston, we make more money than in less densely populated areas like Ohio. So don't expect, for example, to receive the same wages in different parts of the country where the cost of living is significantly lower. You can't command the same salary as you would in more populous centers like New York and Massachusetts, Boston in particular, where we're located. Know your geographic area, research your market, understand company policies. When you're researching the market, also look into your company and find out what is actually involved. Everything is in your employee handbook. And if you don't have access to it, make sure to reach out to your manager or make sure to reach out to human resources and get it. You're entitled to it. After all, when they hired you, you signed it. So get a copy and start looking as to what it is that you may be entitled to. Timing. As they say, timing is everything. Don't pick the wrong moment to pitch your proposal for increase in pay if your company or your department is doing poorly. Though I feel compelled to share a personal story with you many years ago when I was employed by a hospital that opened up an outpatient center, multi-profile, multi-specialty center, where I held a job title as a senior radiologic technologist. And this was a job that I had at the time, and the the practice, the specialty, the practice wasn't doing too well, so they were cutting staff. And one of the people that they were going to cut was me. My position was going to be cut. And when I was speaking to the HR, who were very polite and very nice, they were apologetic about what was happening. I asked them politely, "Why fire me? Because I can do some of the other jobs within the organization." And instead of being fired, they reconsidered and they instead gave me a raise while letting go a few people. So these things do happen. It is a true story, but I definitely had to take more responsibility. But since the patient flow was so low, it almost made no difference whatsoever. I walked away with almost a 50% pay increase because I absorbed several other positions. And this is something to consider. But timing, proper pitch made at the proper time makes all the difference. Consider the company's health, consider the company attitude. You may not be in the right place at the right time, so it would be a good opportunity for you to go elsewhere. But it is what it is. Consider it. Aside from timing, there's also such thing as preparation. It's all about being prepared. It's all about delivering your message precisely, concisely, and more importantly, you have to impress upon the nice people who are considering that you are the individual that they're looking for at that particular moment. So preparation is key. Be specific. Clearly state your goals, clearly state your needs. Know in advance exactly what kind of a raise or pay increase that you're looking for. Don't be wishy washy. Now is not the time to vacillate. Now it's time to be specific. What is going to make you happy? I discuss this concept of preparedness for these questions when we talk about interview preparation. And one of the worst questions that people fear, or one of the questions that people just fear, it's a wonderful question, but people are really threatened by this question is, hey, how much money do you want to make? And most people have no clue. This is the time when they start hemming and hawing, which is, in fact, one of the easiest things for you to do. Think in advance how much money you are going to be happy with. Of course, you have to be reasonable. But if you're not getting paid what you believe you deserve or what the market reflects, this is your time to do this. If you're not happy with the money, you're always going to be looking elsewhere. You don't want to look elsewhere. You want to stay with the company that you're working in, right? That's why we're talking about this. These were the emails that I received at the BCI podcast at bostoncareer.org. Just a reminder once again. Make sure you know how much. Make sure you know how much. I need this because I did my research. The market research dictates that people in my capacity, with my experience, with my skill set level, with a number of years working in this geographical area, these people make 25 to 30% more. I'm asking for this type of an increase. Okay. So you must be prepared to clearly and precisely express how much money you're looking for. Okay. And just remember that replacing you will also cost the company. They will also have to have an increase in pay for somebody who applies for your position. People do understand that. They don't always have they don't have the capacity to do it. And sometimes you do have to resort to these drastic measures to move on. But we'll talk about that at the end of the podcast. Okay. So this is one of those things that you need to discuss. And of course, focus on the value that you bring to the table. So this goes back to the time we discussed just a few minutes ago about building your case and showing your logbook where you talk about the increase in the output or proficiency, efficiency, all those interesting things that you bring to the table. What's your worth? It's just because it's you and you're such a wonderful person, that doesn't make you even more valuable to your employer. It certainly contributes, but it's what you bring to the table. It's the measurable variables, meaning how much more efficient you are, how much more effective you are, your communication skills, your previous evaluations by your managers all play a factor, and all of this has to be laid out precisely and concisely without vacillating, without going back and forth, without feeling that you don't deserve it. No, you have to push the agenda forward without sounding too forward. It's a very delicate balance that we have. So all of this needs to be prepared. Just like an interview, you must be prepared to deliver your sales pitch. And it is a sales pitch. And you are selling these people your new self. Your experience with a company matters. Your efficiency matters. Your certifications matter. Your continuing education matters. Your review matters. Bring it all to the table and lay it out precisely. Even bring, like I said, you bring your logbook, your journal, and of course your evaluations, and you put it all together. You can even do it in form of a graph. These are very visual aids are very important. Okay. Now, and like we said earlier about timing, don't just stop your manager or HR specialist in the hallway while they were out there getting a cup of coffee. Wrong timing. Make sure to schedule your conversation. Ask for a meeting. Be professional. This is key because respect for their time will generate a response, which is a respect for your time, which is measured in dollars and cents. So respecting their time is key for them to respect yours. So make sure to schedule. That shows preparation. That shows respect. And that shows respect for the rules set forth in the company. Don't take away from your work time. Do it in such a way that it doesn't impede your performance of your duties within the organization. All of these things count and everything matters. And still, you have to be prepared for failure, or not necessarily failure, just for an opportunity to move on. You know me, I don't like failure. Failure is just an opportunity. Failure is just empowerment of your ability to do better very quickly. You have to be graceful. You have to be kind and you have to be polite. Never, ever burn your bridges. And I'll come to that shortly. But you have to be able to handle some form of rejection. Okay. And you have to prepare it gracefully. You have to take what they say, ask for feedback, and understand what you can do to secure a raise in the future should you continue your stay with this organization. Set goals. By asking the feedback, you can figure out what it is that they want from you in order to pay you more money or to give them the ability to pay you. That's important. Setting goals in concert with your immediate supervisor or human resources professional. And of course, don't forget that money isn't everything. You also have to consider other benefits. Perhaps instead of giving you more money per hour, they can give you other tangible benefits that will translate to dollars and cents for you. For example, free parking, or a reduced cost of health insurance, or fully subsidized cost of health insurance. There are other possibilities that you may be entitled to. You can certainly ask. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. These words of wisdom are fantastic. Always ask. Is there anything you can give me in lieu of that other stuff? Is there anything I can qualify within the organization that doesn't necessarily translate into increasing my wages per se, but will give me benefit? Like, for example, can the organization pay for my cell phone bill? Can the organization subsidize my gasoline costs? And all of that costs you money. And it actually sometimes in many ways translates to you making more money, because don't forget, the more money you make per hour, the more money you pay in taxes. But things like a fully paid phone bill or a paid gas bill, now that's free money without being taxed. So do your basic arithmetic and figure out what it's going to cost. And remember, also, when you consider moving on to a position in a different institution, they may have given you some more money per hour, but think of how much time you're going to be spending in traffic or spending on gasoline. And gasoline is one of those unknowns as to how much it's going to cost. Sometimes the costs are negligible, but the costs of maintaining your vehicle, how much it costs to pay for repairs, and so on and so forth, all these things have to be considered. And of course, your previous employer was walking distance from your house, and this time you have to drive for an hour. Okay, I'm of course exaggerating, but no matter what it is, you may have gotten a raise, but are you spending? Are you keeping more of your money? And these are the questions that you have to answer for yourself. So these are all important points of discussion. Last but not least, if you do end up leaving your job, leave it in such a way that it keeps the door open for future employment. Always leave in such a way where people want you back. They're looking forward to you coming back. They're looking forward to giving you more money when you do return. And that goes along with maintaining your relationship. Like I said in the beginning, be a good, positive person. Leave on a high note. Leave on a very high note. Even though you may have accepted a new position somewhere, that does not mean that you don't give your employer enough time to fill your position or to transition nicely into your departure. Be good. And remember that people recycle themselves from one organization to another. You will find these people going with you. A lot of, for example, managers that transition from one employer to the other usually end up leaving with the best possible staff members that they want to keep, and that's one of the ways people secure raises for the work that they do. It happened to the career guru on multiple occasions. It's a wonderful thing when your former boss wants to maintain this relationship with you, and they make sure you come on board. I know, it seems borderline unethical to do that, but everyone does it. And remember, you know, never step on the people on your way up. You will meet the same people on your way down. All right. Life is an interesting thing. What goes up must always come down. So be nice to the people as you climb over them in your career growth. Be nice to everyone. Always be nice. Always stay possible. Of course, we know that we can't please all people all the time, but we can please some of the people some of the time, and that's good. Of course, there's going to be people who are going to be unhappy with you. But you know what? We'll be able to deal with that when the time comes. It's okay. Remember, charity begins at home. It is extremely important for you to make money that values you as a professional. Let's recap some of the basic points that we discussed today. Number one, we started with building your case, and that involved tracking your achievements, quantifying your achievements, meaning showing numbers, how much you contribute to the department, and highlighting your skills and accomplishment. Researching the market, knowing your worth and understanding your company's policies, understanding the right time to do your pitch, picking the right moment when your manager is in a good mood, considering the company's health altogether. Then preparing your pitch, making sure that you are always ready to deliver the goods and discuss all your finest points. And of course, you have to understand that people will have the opposite to say to you if they want to. So make sure you have your rebuttals ready. Practice, practice, practice. Making sure to schedule your conversations to understand that you value your manager's time and your time and your department's performance. Make sure you do that off the clock, if you will, during your lunch hour, whatever works. Being graceful in your rejection. It's okay when you hear no, but it's always a no when you don't ask. And sometimes it's a yes. So we take our chances. If you keep mum and you think that people are just going to pay you more money because you are silent, no, no, that they just feel that you're a doormat and they're going to walk all over you. Those things do happen. Don't be a doormat, okay? But you don't have to be quite so pushy either. And last but not least, don't forget the people. Maintain your relationships with everyone, and those people will remember you. Maintain your relationships. After you leave on a good note, make sure you keep in touch with the people. Send them notes, send them emails, send them a postcard. God knows Hallmark is doing a lot of business with those cards. You don't even have to think of anything new, just sign your name to it. All right. So make sure you do all these things. Well, friends, this was, in the time that we have available for this podcast, I think we've covered a lot of the basis as far as what it takes to make more money and how to go about getting it. And of course, don't forget to practice your interview skills. All right. Well, and as always, I am your career guru, signing off after yet another exciting installment of Making More Money, the sequel. Looking forward to see you, talking to you once again very soon. Don't forget to write BCI podcast at bostoncareer.org. I am your career guru. God bless you all, and thank you.
Well, friends and aspiring career gurus, this was fun. Thank you for tuning in. I feel enlightened, I feel empowered, and I'm feeling grateful that we spend time with you. For more information about Boston Career Institute, please visit our website, bostoncareer.org. Boston Career Institute has 3 campuses located in Brookline, Massachusetts, Malden, Massachusetts, and Lowell, Massachusetts. Call our toll-free number, 888-383-6058. For questions, comments, and/or information about our podcast, email me at The Career Guru at bostoncareer.org. The Career Guru podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, bostoncareer.org, or wherever you stream your podcast. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your rating and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by PodPro Entertainment, The Career Guru lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. Hashtag the new radio. Looking forward to seeing you soon. All the best to you. My name is Steve Yanovsky. I am the Career Guru. May God bless you. Hashtag let's career up.